When you're standing in the aisle staring at a wall of ultra-thin screens, the biggest question isn't which one looks the slickest, but will this TV actually fit into my living room routine without becoming a regret? That hesitation is what drives most of us to dig deeper before pulling the trigger, especially when a premium name like LG is attached to a 55-inch OLED. I'm going to walk through the day-to-day experience of the LG 55-inch class OLED AI 4K B5 series, point out the moments where it shines, and flag the scenarios where you might end up paying for features you'll never use. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest draw of any OLED is the claim of perfect black and perfect color. In practice, that translates to a picture that looks almost three-dimensional when you watch a dark-themed series like Stranger Things or a sci-fi film with heavy shadows. The deep blacks stay true even after hours of binge watching, and the colors stay vivid without the oversaturation you sometimes see on LED panels. What that really means for a typical household is less eye fatigue during late-night sessions and a more immersive feel for movies that rely on subtle lighting. But the magic doesn't start at the panel alone. LG has baked the Alpha 8 AI processor Gen 2 into this model, and its upscaling algorithm is noticeably different from the generic 1080 PTO 4K tricks you get on cheaper sets. I tested it with a mix of older Blu-ray discs and streaming content that's still stuck at 1080p. The AI does a decent job of sharpening edges and smoothing out noise, making the picture feel closer to native 4K. The difference is subtle enough that you won't notice it on a quick glance, but after a few minutes you'll feel that the image isn't fighting the TV, it's being helped by it. Now let's talk about the everyday setup. The B5 series runs LG's WebOS, which has been refined over several generations. The interface opens fast, and the remote scroll wheel feels responsive without being clicky. You can add your favorite streaming apps in seconds, and the built-in voice control, Alexa, works for basic commands like play The Crown or turn the volume down. What matters in a real home is that you're not spending 10 minutes just to get to the show you want. In my tests, the home screen stayed tidy, and the quick access bar let me jump straight to Netflix or Disney Plus without digging through menus. Gaming is another use case that often trips up buyers. The TV supports a 120Hz panel and ultimate gameplay mode, which reduces input lag and enables variable refresh rate when paired with a compatible console. I paired it with a next-gen console and noticed a smooth, tear-free experience in fast-paced shooters. The downside? The TV doesn't have HDMI 2.1 features like Auto Low Latency Mode, LLM, that some higher-end OLEDs advertise. You have to manually toggle game mode, which is a small but annoying extra step if you switch between gaming and movies often. Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision are two buzzwords that can feel hollow if you don't have the ecosystem to support them. In a room equipped with a soundbar that handles Atmos, the TV's built-in speakers still sound modest, just as you'd expect from a slim OLED. The real benefit comes when you connect a proper Atmos-capable speaker system. The TV will pass the object-based audio stream correctly. For most viewers who rely on the TV's built-in audio, the Atmos label won't add noticeable depth, so the value there depends on how much you've already invested in external sound. One of the more practical strengths of this model is the Filmmaker mode. When you enable it, the TV disables motion smoothing, sharpness enhancements, and other post-processing that can make movies look soap operatic. This mode respects the creator's intent, which is a boon for cinephiles who want their director's vision untouched. I watched a few recent releases that were mixed-rated for color grading, and the picture stayed true to the reference images I'd seen online. On the flip side, there are hidden trade-offs you won't see on the spec sheet. OLED panels, while offering perfect blacks, are prone to temporary image retention if you leave static UI elements on for too long. Think news tickers or a pause video game HUD. The B5 series includes a pixel shift feature that moves the image slightly every few minutes. But it's not a guarantee against longer-term burn-in if you habitually leave the same channel logo displayed for hours. If your viewing habits include a lot of static content, you might need to be more diligent about screensavers or rotate content more often. Another subtle drawback is the TV's brightness ceiling. OLEDs excel in dark rooms, but they can't push the same peak nits as high-end LED panels with full-array local dimming. In a sunlit living room, the picture will still look good, but you'll notice a slight gray wash on HDR highlights if the ambient light is very strong. This isn't a deal breaker for most, but it's worth noting if you're